Okay, first and foremost, there are going to be spoilers for both the book and the movie in this video. So please, anybody attempting to read or watch Warm Bodies and you hate spoilers like myself, please scroll and watch this after you do both of them or one of them. I think the book was amazing. The movie was really good too. I watched it first and loved it. And I thought it would be kind of fun having it just playing in the background. But anyway, oh my gosh, this book, it was just beautiful. The author writing, I wasn't expecting it to be that good, in all honesty. I mean, I saw the movie, it was good. The book was so much better, so much better. So, here's my little synopsis of it on why the book is better. Okay, so we get the emphasis at the very beginning. This man is lacking purpose in life. He's wanting something more. And that's kind of what drives the whole plot along. He still has that, but the zombies have like their own way of like coping with things. So you still have him in the abandoned airport, his friend M with him, but he kind of like portrays that in the awkward like grunting, I have no purpose, that terrible dialogue. It's written in the book with like awkward word, pause, word, hyphenated words with pauses with ellipses and everything. Beautiful. I loved it so much. So he's kind of portraying that. I lack meaning. And they're like, okay, well, go get a wife, have a family. So he has this cute little zombie family. And it's so adorable. It's just like, this is the first chapter. The first, like, maybe 5 pages, I could go book check. It was so cute. It's like, I'm missing something. Well, we'll have a family. Here's your zombie wife, and there's zombie children. That was, like, shown in the movie, but, like, never looked into. Maybe the children in the movie are his zombie children, whatever. But you just get turned whenever your age is. There's dead children. They've been zombified. But there's still children and infants that don't know what they're doing still, so they need a parent to be like, hey, you need to eat. This is what we do. And the zombies have that. What a cute little... Oh, I can't. Oh, it was so cute. And they are in the whole... Well, technically, yes, the whole book. But, like, at least halfway through it, they're pretty mentioned. But, so you have this cute little zombie family, and he's just still not feeling it. The drive, the animo. Sorry, I know a little bit of Spanish, but like that, it's hard to say. Whatever that word is for drive, power, meaning, purpose, whatever it is. Anyways, so he still makes his little band of guys. Hey, let's go out. I'm hungry. Let's feed this internal animal drive that we as zombies have to eat brains. Because I've got nothing. Even having this cute little family with a wife and 2 children, boy and a girl, it's not working. So they go out, they do like the little killing and interact with Julie and Perry and Nora and kill Perry. Obviously, that's how everything starts. Eating Perry's brain to become him, but unintentionally. Oh my gosh. I love that so much in this whole story. The idea of, like, you ate the brain, you get a little bit of the memory, and then, like, the feeling there, I'm sorry, I'm getting choked up. R eats some Perry's brain because he, like, killed him, and then he, like, sees Julie in the corner, cowering and, like, shivering and, like, just being like any typical girl would be in that situation. And he's like, wait, I know you. I want to keep you safe. The love isn't mentioned right away. Obviously, the romantic relationship between Perry and Julie, that was there a while, but it fizzled. Oh my gosh. The movie does not touch that enough. Oh my goodness. The details of their romantic struggles, flawless. But I'll get to that point. So you just have this man, R, is just like, oh, I have meaning, I have purpose. It's to protect this girl. I'm gonna do that. I love that. It's not anything else. It's just like, I have a purpose. It's a protector. What a family man. So you get him, he protects her by taking her back and just kind of splats the dead juices, whatever, and such. It's like, oh yeah, she's gonna be mine forever. Remember, this guy has a family. Imagine that. Your husband leaves town to go get food, and he comes back with a girl? And the wife, neutral. Because she's just a zombie. That's the other crazy thing. Ours is so unique of having, I need something more. Well, everyone else is just like, zombie, bleh. Fair warning, there is a couple of adult moments with sex with zombies that I didn't like it. But I mean, it just adds to the flavor of like the human drive, that internal animal passion of just like meaninglessness versus a purpose. And even sex is meaningless, but they do it anyway, because why not? What's the point of life? We're just hobbling around, grunting and eating anything that's alive. It just makes zombies feel so depressing. But it was so good. So anyways, I really am a little scatterbrained. But at the very beginning, in the movie, they have the bonies. These skeleton evils that are just like, ugh, nobody likes them, gives you an ick. I love the visual portrayal of it, even though it looks totally fake. I kind of liked it. In the book, they're more like a cult. And I really love that. I'm not supporting the cult, but like that idea of just like all these rom-com movies, they just slap in action and suspense and maybe a little bit of horror because they can. Twilight did that. I'll have to do one of these on Twilight because I've read and watched most of those, if not all. No, I haven't. I haven't read all of them yet. But anyway, sorry, getting caught away. So this little cult in the book, the Bonies, they are very religious and they're just status quo. You don't break the status quo. And it's them that actually give him the wife and the children when he was like, I have no purpose. Oh, you have no purpose, my child. Like a cute little like nunnery. Here you go. Have a family. Enjoy. And he still doesn't have it, but they're just like, that fixes all your problems. You have a purpose now. You will fend for them. And there's such a really cute little cult. They say that they made like a little chapel with the giant movie staircases that you can like get into the plane, like the really old school ones, not like terminals and such, but like the really fake movie rendu of like, oh, you walk up the ladder to get into the plane, fare thee wells, whatever. They apparently made like a little building chapel area with those, and they just meet there every day, and they're just a religion. That's better. It's not a cult, it's a religion. Their religion of just zombie lifestyle. And they actually, in the book, they have a moment with a Polaroid camera, which is actually how she got that camera from later on in the movie. I can't remember if it's mentioned in the movie, but in the book, she steals the camera, and that's when she takes the cute little Polaroid in the abandoned house. But besides the point, they have like just pictures of like the terribleness of the world, how humans are out to get them, and everything's bleak, the world's apocalyptic, and they're just like, nothing will change, so we'll live in it, and we'll be peaceful, and we will do what we do. Amen. Whatever. It's really good because I love that it gave that aspect instead of just like, oh, they're scary demons wanting to kill you. No, they're just keeping to the status quo. That's what you do. So, man, I feel like I need to like break this up better. But no, I'm doing this how I want to. Whatever. So, we have like Julie back with like the airplane and everything. She interacts with his zombie family. Not much the wife, because obviously she felt like a little bit betrayed, so then she like abandoned post, per se, you could say. It does say that the zombie wife gets a different zombie husband, and that's like the end of her. But she interacts with the two children. Oh, there's like a little ledge to sit on, and I just want to sit down. There's the cutest moment. So they have the really fancy red Mercedes called Mercy, and he's trying to drive it and such, trying to drive stick shift at a zombie. Talk about crazy. Somehow they do it. But anyway, while she's like with him and they're trying to drive, his kids are in the back seat. And then every now and then they're like trying to eat Julie because they're still children. They don't know what they're doing. They're like, oh, that's a human. I eat those. Ah. And he's just like, no, kids, no. You don't eat this one. How cute is that? You have just like a father, not wife, but like father-daughter relationship, you could say at the point. Well, no, it's not a father-daughter relationship. It's a father figure with a soon-to-be girlfriend, wife, or something or other. But how cute is that? A dad just like, no, stop it, you're embarrassing me. You don't bite people. Just imagine if that was like regular human beings. You have like a dad and his girlfriend, so like a single dad and his 2 kids, and they're just kind of like pestering her, poke, or like making loud noise, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I have to be here for them because they're my children, but I'm sorry. I found that adorable. So cute and adorable. Anyways, so that's like the little bit, oh no, it changed. Putting it back. Yes. Anyways, I'll cut it wherever I want. So you have the whole fiasco at the airport. She's like, oh, why'd you save me? What are we doing here? And he's just kind of like, protect. Well, he didn't say that because that's too big of a word. At the very beginning, he's very hard to speak, so it's just like, safe. No, eat. Long, awkward pauses. Written in the book. It's so good. So good. And so she's like, okay, fine. For now, I'm safe. I'll eventually leave whenever we can leave. And they have this cute little romantic-ish date in the airport with tofu. She's obsessed with tofu, by the way. Julie loves tofu. But he knows that because of Perry's brains that he ate a little bit. And he keeps those in his pocket for a little bit because, I mean, it's kind of like crack for zombies eating a brain. It's just like, oh yeah, a spike. So any of them would like keep the brains. And there's actually a moment where R and M have like a little tussle about him holding out on him. Like, you have more brains? I don't want them. And R's like, you ain't touching my boy's brains. These are mine because I want the memories. Not because of the spike, but because I feel attached to this girl that I just saved her life, and I want to know why. And so you see R just kind of learn by daydream and vision of memory eating brain stuff on what Perry was like. And you really get to see Perry's character, because in the movie, he's just a piece of trash. Not for nothing, Perry. I don't see much redeeming qualities. So, but the book did him so justicely. And there's like vocal conversations between R and Perry of like kind of like a subconscious. I imagine it kind of like the voiceover of like a theater of just like, yes, I'm speaking to you, you're speaking to me. And it's just actually all happening in his head. Sorry. Anyways, so they have the whole time in the airport, and then they eventually get to the point where the Bonies, like again, they're a religious cult, whatever. Hey, what the freak? You brought a human here and she's not dead? What is wrong with you? And they bring the photos that they've taken to try to like intimidate, scare, like a lot of religions do when things don't work out. It's like, look at the world is evil. You gotta believe us. I'm not bashing religion specific, but there's a lot of persuasion that comes from fear, and a lot of religions do that. And the Bonies are an exact example of that too. They've got a religion. People do things when they're scared. We'll implant fear and you'll do what we say. But they don't. So there's a bit of a tussle there of like, no, I like her. She's staying with me. She's staying alive. So there's like an awkward confrontation of like, well, get out. You creepy weirdo, get out of here. And they kind of chase him out of town. The movie portrays it as like a lot of like, oh, the Bonies saw them and then they're like, let's kill you. It wasn't like that in the book. It was more of just like, dude, you threw off my group. I don't know why I said it like that. Besides the point. So they have to leave town and they're in the Mercedes because that's what they were driving. And they leave town to go back to the stadium, which is where Julie's from and where all the people are living. Best thing about the human people, they build a city in a football stadium. And they've been doing that in the country. There's another one mentioned in the book. I can't remember if in the movie or not. I should just rewatch the movie and redo this. But it's on my brain right now. I wanted to spill it where I can. But they have like cities in these stadiums. And one part, they're trying to build a tunnel connection to said secondary stadium so that they can have like dual communication, resources, etc. But anyways, so they journey in the car, R and Julie, to the stadium where she's from, city, and you have the cute little moment of them like in that little abandoned house where they pulled off the side of the road. And here comes like one of the biggest differences. Her father doesn't show up. That whole like fiasco of him like walking through town and that, it's just like, okay, we're kind of tired. We should probably rest here for the night. The Mercedes is still like open. It has like the little pullover cover. And they were sopping wet in the rain. I love that they kept that together. So it was like, okay, well, we've been soaked wet. Let's actually go into a building and find shelter. And you get the cute little rom-com moment. They kept that pretty on point, and I'm glad they did. Because I just like sitting down when it's like really sentimental. But they had such a cute little photo-esque moment of like a couple entering a home. They're like, oh, look at this, look at that. Oh, what would it be like to live here? And I can see like a lot of newbie couples or soon-to-be couples. They're just like checking out real estate and just like, oh, I like that. Oh, that fixture. Oh, and we could put our bed here. Oh, and there. And that's what I got from the whole scene. And I thought it was adorable. So they keep all that and it's cute. And then you have like the first like awkward interaction of just like Julie like, hey, you've been protecting me. You could sleep in the same room as me? The bed's really big. There was no implied sexual tension there at all. But it's just like, I feel safe around you. You should just stay close. And that is where I think the real relationship was like, okay, pedal to the metal. There's something to fight for. And this is where all my rom-com girlies can start being like, oh, they're going to end up together at the end. They just have to. Because who doesn't want that? Just feeling like, I'm protected. I'm safe. I'm valued by this other human being. Thank you. So I love that whole scene. But that's where he also has like his first like semi-dreamish almost, because like zombies, they can't have dreams, but like because he's been like interacting with Julie, remembering Perry, all those kind of little snivellers. It's really hard to explain, but it's kind of like one of those daydreamy things, definitely like out of pockets mentalities. But he gets like some of those flashbacks of Perry's old life, of him growing up with Julie, going to school with Julie in the school stadium, whatever, which, all honesty, that would be rough. Like, the stadium lifestyle as a whole was really rough. Because, like, it was the worst. And it's turned off on me. So I will finish the rest of it just without that. But it really was a brutal world they made. Well, semi-made. I know they didn't cause the zombies, but they got like to where things got messy. And it's remarkable that humanity was still working, because they were kind of like in the dump of the dumps. So you had the school system where it's like, okay, here's how to kill a zombie. Make sure you do it efficiently. Make sure you can do it the best you can. And they had zombies in there so that they could test on or try to. It was like trial and error. Oh, you missed the head. Remember, you gotta aim for the head. Okay, next group, you try and kill the zombie. Absolutely insane. But I totally forgot about this. They do the exact opposite in like a little zombie school in the airport. They have like a real human and they have like the little zombie school and his little zombie kids are in it. And they're like, okay, there's a human. How do you kill it? How do you eat it? Oh, you went for the legs. No, you gotta go for the brain or the heart or the throat. Something more life deadly instead of just the leg. Talk about the parallels between the two worlds. I love that. They did it so well. Zombie world, human world. Oh wait, they're the same, just in a different visual. So, anyways, they finally do get back to the airport, but Julie does leave him after like the whole little house scene. Not because there's like any guilt or anything. She kind of assumed that he ate Perry, but doesn't like think anything about it because the relationship was on the decline. They had a beautiful arc. Oh my goodness. I love the Perry-Julie relationship in the book. Movie, I don't care. But the book version, it was so good. It was so good. Because you have like this just kind of like cute little high school romance of just like, oh, she's pretty. Oh, maybe I could talk to her. I don't know. Okay. And then they're like interacting with each other. And then they might be doing things that they shouldn't be doing. But they're so cute. I shouldn't be supporting it. But it's a fiction. I love fiction. So I'll read it and enjoy it. So they do have a beautiful arc of them being like, life is beautiful. But then Paris has a switch. He thinks, what's the point? The world is dumb. The world is stupid. And his mom walks out on him and his dad. And it's just kind of like, what's the point of life? What's the point? What's the point? Oh, sorry, no, I got that mixed up. It's not his mom left him. They died. His parents died. Julie's mom walked out on her. But just kind of like that loss of hope, loss of desire, of purpose. And then he goes straight into like, well, the only thing to do here is kill. Because that's what we do. We kill zombies and live. So I'm going to get into the security side of things, and I'm going to make sure nobody dies that's human, and I'll just kill zombies. Which is where he meets and gets kind of like the relationship with her dad. Oh my goodness. We'll get to him later. So R is just kind of sad and depressed. Is like, oh, I really thought I had something with her. We had purpose. I felt something. There was something going on. And casually, his speaking got a little bit better. Still blocky and still with ellipses, but a little bit better. And he was like, wow, I've never done that before. I'm smiling. I've never done that before. Wait, I laughed. What? I didn't think I could laugh. All these human qualities that he never thought were possible, he was doing. And it's just like, my boy can change. He can do something, and it's beautiful. But throughout that moment, he realizes, yeah, screw Julie on saying no to us, because I want her and she's worth keeping. So he went back and talked to M, his good friend, and he's just like, you know what, I'm gonna go back. You guys want to help me? So he and his friends make up this beautiful scenario to help him get into the Stadium City that's completely blocked off, like giant metal locked doors, everything, no entry. So this is a definitely different way than the movie did it. They had like a secret passageway, walking through, yada yada, that Perry knew about. No. This one's better. The book is so much better because it's so like thought-provoking. These zombies are thinking and wanting to do good things. It's not like, oh, I'm thinking of how to kill things. It's like, no, I'm thinking of strategy on getting something that I want in a good way. So he and M and a good handful of others are like, okay, what we're going to do is right outside, right close to the guards. R's gonna run towards them, screaming, help, 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 acting like a human. Because again, he's acting closer and closer humanly. So, with his buddies, M and everybody else, they'll be chasing him a little bit. The guards will be like, oh freak, this guy's getting attacked. Let's go stop the zombies. While R can just run into the stadium, scotch-free. It almost works perfectly. So, he gets to the door, and like the guy he's got like, I'm seeing him with like the little clipboard of just like, okay, what's your name? Let me see your ID. But he can't do anything like that because this whole crazy thing is like, whoa, we got an attack going on. Okay, who do I talk to? Who do I talk to? Dude, just get in here, but don't go anywhere. I need you to stay so I can notate everything about you. But hold on a second. So after R kind of like gets in, and then he eventually just scoots off. A couple of seconds later, while that is happening, M like, okay, he's all in good. They just leave, like full on sprinting away. And they're all just like, what just happened? What just happened? I'm sorry, I hate all this lighting. I'm gonna redo all this. But this is a great first attempt. But it was just, okay, zombies were trying to kill a man. And now they're just deliberately running away? What? Excuse me? What is going on here? What is going on here? So, that's better. Lots of lighting. So, you have that whole thing of like some guards seeing, okay, this is kind of suspicious. And that's kind of where the whole ball of like, questionability comes into like all the book. But anyway, R gets in. He eventually finds Julie with a bit of his memories from Perry, but also he could still smell her because she had like a distinct scent. And I thought that was so cute. Not in creepy any at all. It's like, I'm just drawn to you. I can smell you. I just want to be with you for the rest of my life. I'm such a romantic. Anyways, So he finds her and she's like, what the freak are you doing here? They did it very similar to the movie where she's in like a balcony at her house and she's just talking to her friend, Nora. But he was different. He wasn't a zombie. He was something else. And he like calls her name, and a friend of mine said R totally should have stood for Romeo. Did it? Maybe. Romeo and Juliet. Because they do have a balcony scene. And her just kind of being there, and he calls up to her name. And she's like, oh, what the F? Yes, she does say that. I'm sorry if you're touchy on the F word. But anyways, so she brings him to the house. She introduces him to Nora. And she's just like, okay, my girlie, the zombie that kidnapped her is real. And he's kind of like human-y a little bit. Because she's just like, at very first, Nora's like, okay, stand back. Wait a minute. He's not attacking you. Why isn't he attacking you? What are you? Who is this? Definitely like the best girlfriend mentality of just like, okay, you're into my girl. Let me see if you're a stalker. Let me do my background check on you. So they have that cute little interaction in her home and all that greatness. And she's like, okay, well, I mean, while you're here, I might as well just give you a tour of town the next day. So they plan to do that. At this point, they have like a little sleep again. He has more dreams. I should just go, maybe I should make a video about just the dreams. They're all really pretty. But anyways, so he does that. They wake up. He gets a tour of the town. And they really do say that it's just a gutted out stadium. I don't feel like you get that same mentality in the movie because you don't see a stadium really. Because they're mentioning like, oh yeah, everything's just built up, and then you have like all the awkward stadium seats that are like the cement steps that you can't get rid of, but then everything else has been gutted out of like all the little foldy chairs and all those accessories. It's all been gutted. But you don't really see that in the movie. And you get a tour of the cute little crazy town, and that's when he sees the school for humans attacking zombies. You also see just kind of the crazy road system that they try to make out. Well, R's kind of occasionally like, wait, I feel like I've been here before. And like he's also getting to the point where he's almost reading too. His brain's almost reading. Crazy. But the best part of this whole scenic tour, they take him to it can't be a bar. It's not a bar. But it's the craziest idea of a bar. A speakeasy that's not a speakeasy. My town of Rexburg, Idaho has a place called Fizzers. I'm getting that mentality. But anyway, so it's this really crazy way to get there. You go up like 3 flights of stairs, across a weird wire cage, up 2 more flights of stairs, and then out on a balcony. And you have this bar that serves juices because alcohol's been outlawed because it's pointless to have in like the community. Her dad, Julie's dad, is kind of like the mayor, dictator, president, whatever title you want to give him. And he's outlaw alcohol, all that obition stuff. Prohibition. Anyway, so you have this crazy moment of just like, we'll have 3 grapefruits juices. Perfect. At a bar. And Julie actually, during her time with R in the airport, they found like all of the cute little alcohol vodkas that they serve on the airplane, and she was so happy he did that because she was a bit of a drinker. But anyway, so during that bar fiasco, she spikes all their drinks, and R actually gets a little drunk. He says it's like fizzy, swirly room, all that. Like, again, he's having human interactions in the state of being a zombie. How freaking cool is that? Go man. But the best part is you have a bar scene. The traditional girl hits on a guy, but the boyfriend shows up and kicks his butt. We get that in this book. There's 2 guys playing pool. I don't remember their names. I don't care to remember their names. But they try to hit on Julie and Nora, and they're like, whatever, we're too good for you. And R, being just kind of a little drunk and whatever, he needed some air. And he went out onto the balcony area of it, outdoors, where he also kind of crosses the boundary. He wasn't expecting to cross a boundary. But during the cute beginning Romeo and Juliet balcony scene, when he first showed up into town, Julie actually throws out a audio diary, cassette player, whatever. Because, I mean, apocalyptics, they have like memoirs, remember your history and such. So she was doing an audio diary. He grabbed it from off the ground to keep it as a keepsake because it's like, it's part of her. I want to be a part of me. And he starts listening to it. And he realizes there's a giant time period gap between the beginning and the ending of what he's listening to because he was with her. He wasn't making the audio diary. So he feels a little guilty, like peering into her personal stuff of her just kind of confessing, I don't know what he was. He was something different. He wasn't human. He wasn't zombie. I don't know what he was. And due to him feeling awkward and just nervous that she was going to walk in watching him read it, he threw it off the balcony when in actuality it was the two dudes from the bar pool table that came out to him. He's like, sup, brah, sup. So you with those two girls? Yeah. Well, Art isn't saying anything because for one, he's kind of drunk and also still zombie. So he's like, nah, nah. Kind of low on words. But anyway, they're just kind of like, Julie has a history. She hoed around. She was quite the catch to all the people back in the day. And R gets so defensive that he knocks them out by slamming their heads into the wall. That's something that just isn't stated enough in the movie, that the zombies have unhuman strength. Unhuman. So he knocks him out and he feels guilty. So he runs off just into the city feeling like, okay, what am I doing? Am I in love with this girl? I just defended her even though she didn't ask me to. And then he's also still feeling a little bit of guilt of like, I killed Perry and I feel like I should tell her, but I don't know how to tell her. This is so awkward and confusing. And during this whole fiasco, it starts to rain. I forgot to mention that when he leaves the house, they also do it in the movie. They make him look lively and alive. Well, this is starting to run off his face. It's melting with the rain and everything washing off. And two guards walk past, just doing their casual routine check rounds, scouting, patrol, So they do those, and there's a bit of a hot gossip discussion of just like, our city is screwed. That guy in charge, he's just the worst. We all kind of hate him. He's kind of gone off in the deep end. Just the little bit of like exposition that you didn't have to have, but we wanted to have to give better clarity of how very troubling this city is with its government and whatever. So one of them starts walking away kind of a little bit faster, and the other one just kind of stayed behind, being lackadaisical. When you're bored at work, you kind of go a little bit slower. And R realizes, oh, freak, I'm out in the open. I need to get back to Julie. But he can't move that fast because he's drunk again. He's still a bit drunk, and he's also a zombie. So he's kind of like awkwardly hobbling. And then it dawns on him, oh shoot, I can't look drunk. It's illegal. And the one single cop, he noticed the movement behind him, and he's like, wait a minute, hold up. You're looking suspicious. Get over here. And R panics. And at this moment was like the run to the end of the book for me, because it was like at this point, it was nonstop, everything rolling, happening, and it was beautiful. I couldn't put the book down. So the cop guard questioned him, or tried to, but R just attacked him. He bit his shoulder, and he was like taking in the blood and the guts, but in his brain he was like, Perry was like, dude, after everything you've gone through, think of her, think of Julie. What is the right thing to do? And R vomits all of that meat, guts, whatever he took out of the shoulder, as well as the alcohol, and kind of like cleanses himself. And it's like a giant cleanser of like, never again will blood enter my body through eating humans. Never again will I revert to this zombie lifestyle. I'm going to be a human for Julie because I love her. But in so doing, he accidentally turned that guard into a zombie. So now there's a loose zombie on the loose, while he himself is trying to like never be a zombie ever again. And at this point, you hear in the background Julie and Nora coming back from the drunk little party thing. And it's just like, oh, what did I just do? So they're back. Julie and Nora go inside. Well, Julie stops at the door and notices R there, and he's like, oh, yeah, you ran off. Are you okay? And he's just like, nah. And she's like, okay. And they have this cute little heart-to-heart sitting in the a little dry spot of ground, but she's like making little mud drawings. She makes like a cute little drawing of a house. So cute. And ours at that point, like, okay, I'm gonna come clean. But I gotta do it in the right way. At the same time though, Julie's like, can I kiss you? I mean, like, what would happen if I kissed you? What would happen? Can you answer me that? What would happen? I wouldn't turn, right? They had a discussion about that earlier. Of like, what does kissing do? Don't you have to like bite people to like turn them and whatever? So she wants to kiss this boy because she's like, I kind of love you. And he's like, let me take you somewhere. And she's like, oh, okay. And they do like a cute little stroll in the rain. But it turns out he's taking her to Perry's old house. And she's kind of like shocked and awestruck because, again, she doesn't fully know that he ate Perry's brain. It was just an assumption. It was just like, well, someone had to have. He's dead. But I don't know who. And I don't really care who because it's over. But she's like, why are we at this orphan house? And they go in through the orphan house, and it's like each floor level is like a different age group. So you have like cute little children and like some awkward teenagers and such. So you see all these cute little kids for a second, and then you see the teenagers, and you end up in Perry's room. And one of Perry's old, young, youthful things was he was a writer. He really wanted to be a writer before the whole security, life meaningless charade. And Perry was writing a book for Julie that he never finished. They didn't put that in the movie. I'm so sad that they didn't do that. I mean, talk about heartthrob. But so R shows Julie the book that was in Perry's nightstand, and she's just kind of like, oh my, this is good. Wait a minute. He never finished. And you just have this wholesome moment of just like, okay, yep. There's no other way you would have known about this if you hadn't ate Perry's brain. Therefore, you killed Perry, and I forgive you. Beautiful closure for this man. And so they leave the orphanage to go back to Julie's place, and it's just like, it says literally in the book, it's just like, it would have been great if this was the end of the story. Everything tied off with a pretty little bow, a beautiful ending to a beautiful life. But wait, nope. No, wrong. And there is like a little interaction R has with Perry of just like, there's a storm coming. Beware, be ready for this storm. You can feel it. We all can feel it. There's a change in the air. You better be ready for it. So, and it's reminded, hey, remember, there's a zombie on the loose. All right. So at this point, Julie, Nora, and R are just back at her house, just kind of like there, and this giant alarm comes on. Like, again, they're in a stadium, so you have like the giant surround sound megaphone, so everybody knows, like an announcement goes off. It's like, warning, there's been a breach. And there's also a jumbotron in the whole stadium, and they see it light up with a football player like running away from a zombie. I can see that so cartoonishly. And then the word like breach flares. At this point, it is still in R's brain. That's like, I don't know that's the word that it said, but I'm pretty confident that was the word. But I still can't read. So they're like, oh crap. It's you, isn't it? They know it's you. And he's like, actually, I might have bit somebody. And they're like, what? Yeah, but... And he tries to defend himself. He's like, it's the only thing I could have done. He was going to out me. He was going to kill me. And they're like, oh, great. Now what do we do? They don't hate him or anything. There's no like backlash. There's no like, how dare you? It was just like, really, man? Now what are we supposed to do? So they start contemplating, okay, we need to get you out of the city. How do we get you out of the city? The whole place is on lockdown. There's nowhere to go. We'll have to think. And they think throughout the night, sleep on it, and wake up in the morning to a random phone call. And in Julie's stance, her dad is like the governor, president, whatever. So he's got to have communications with everybody. They have old landlines labeled with each locations about like the gardens. There's like a garden area, the other cities, a couple other names. But one of them says outside, and it's super dusty, like never used. And Julie's like, wait a second. why is that ringing? Nobody uses that. They have walkie-talkies and everything. Why on earth is somebody calling this line? So she picks up. Hello? Who is it? It's you. And she recognizes it's M, the friend of R, because of their whole time together at the airport. And she's like, the phone is for you. And I just imagine how cutesy that is. Of just like, you pick up the phone, it's for you, not for me. I'm not the most important person in the room. And you now have this conversation between R and M of like, bruh, are you okay? Because M doesn't know how anything's happened. He's just like, okay, you got in? Oh, you're talking to me, so you're alive. But like, how is it? And R's like, kind of bad. I need to get out. And M's like, well, there's people here with us. Like you and me. M wasn't as subconsciously there, but he had a little bit of drive. He was always with a couple of girls. He was 6'5", kind of bald, but like I imagine him like kind of like that. I feel intimidated and jealous of you at the same time. I don't like this. Kind of that kind of a dude. But anyway, he, throughout his time with Julie, apparently, he grew his own little conscience, and so did a handful of others. And he's like, yeah, there's a bunch of us out here. Do you want us to like break you out? We could come and fight. And R's like, no, don't do that. Everybody will die. We don't want that to happen. And Julie's is like, wait, what are you guys talking about? So R kind of like holds the phone so they can both hear it. Again, these are the old rotary phones, not speakerphone. And R tells him, M, hey, can you just say everything again so Julie can hear you? And he's like, yeah, there's people like R outside here. And she's like, are you freaking kidding me? There's more of you? What have you done? What type of trendsetter are you? And it's just like, okay, well, we're definitely getting you out of here then. So they hatch a plan of like, okay, we're going to get out of here through the roof. Or like, actually, I should clarify. They're just going to find their way out somehow. Doesn't matter where. But in this exact moment, her dad shows up. And it's like, are you okay? Trying to be a father, but he's really not. He's a very poor father figure. But in this moment, they hear him come in downstairs, and they're like in an upstairs room and everything. And Julie's like, freak, get him make-upped. He doesn't look human anymore. And they did have a small little interaction with him in the street, but it wasn't really that present. Oh, and I totally forgot about his mom's grave too. Oh, man, this is all jumbled. But besides the point, we have Nora and R being called Archie as a human name when she presented her to the dad of like, oh, they're a couple. I'm not in with them in any way. And dad was indifferent then because he's like, okay, whatever, I don't care. But he shows up and he's like, are you safe? Wait, what's going on here? And she's like, nothing, I'm all by myself. And he's like, well, we gotta get you out of here. And then they hear something and he's like, you said you were alone. Who's there? And she's like, okay, fine. It was just Nora and Archie. And he's like, you're lying to me. How dare you? And I feel like it's like that harsh, stern father that's like, okay, back off. I'm not taking any backslash or sass from you. So he confronts them and they're in the bathroom trying to get makeup, and Julie's like, Dad, they're in there. Wink, wink, nod, nod. And he's like, what a terrible time. And he literally is yelling at them with the closed door. Nora and Archie, I don't care that you're being sexual here, but this is not the time or place. Now get out. So they're trying to run with that for a second of just like, oh, embarrassed. Nora's really good at acting, by the way. And then the father notices that Archie's wearing makeup. At that point, I hate that he got called Archie. That's such a terrible name, but spur of the moment, it was the first thing that came out of Julie's mouth. So anyway, he ends up stabbing R in the shoulder. Obviously, it's not bleeding out because he's a zombie and doesn't feel it. So he's like, it's a zombie, we're gonna kill it. And then he tries to put a gun to his head, and Julie's like, stop! You freaking idiot! He's not a bad guy! And her father's like, no, yes he is. All zombies are bad. They must be killed, and we will survive. And Julie's like, are you freaking kidding me right now? He has saved my life. You've seen him in the street. He's not a threat. what is wrong with you? And he's just not taking no for an answer. So as he's about to shoot R in the head, Nora comes and swoop in, knocks that gun out of his hand, and then she points a gun at him, which they put that in the movie, Nora pointing a gun at her father, Julie's father. I was like, you're not doing this. I'm gonna shoot you if you do anything stupid. And tells Julie and R to run, to get out of there as fast as they can, which they, again, keep that in the movie. So now you have the vigilantes of Julie and R trying to get out of this giant trap of the place that they have. So they're running, they're searching for some way out, and they go up as high as they can on the stadium steps, and they're confronted by the soldiers at the bottom of the steps, you know, like kind of yelling up to them, and her dad's best friend, who's also kind of like a semi-father-uncle figure to Julie, named, it's not Rosie, because that's what she calls him, but I think it's Rocco? I'm going to double check that, because this is not being published. But he yells up and is like, Julie, stop running. We're here to help you. And she's like, no, you're not. You're going to kill this man. I love him. Back off. So they're running away, and they come to an emergency exit. And it's like, oh, salvation. We're going to be saved. She runs out the door. It turns out it's just a giant drop off. There's no like the metal staircase emergency exit. So she almost falls to her death right there. R luckily grabs her in time. And now they're stuck here at the end of a hallway, a giant open door to a death plummet. And the soldiers, and what's his name, they're there and they're like, okay, he's out of shape because again, he's old. But he's just like, you gotta stop running. And she's like, what do we do? And R's like, okay, I got this. So he grabs her in like the big body hold cradle, and he falls backward and lands through debris, a roof, onto his back while she's completely safe. They do this also in the movie, but into a pool of water. This one was not a pool of water. It was just absolutely destroyed his body, but he doesn't care. It's protecting her and him. And she comes out with like maybe a little cut and bruise there, but nothing serious. And so they're just there and they're alive. And she's like, oh my gosh, you saved me again. I think I really do love you. Oh, not the time though, because there they are looking at us and we're like, well, see ya, deuces. So they're running off to meet up with M and everybody. And while they're running, R is like feeling his body getting put back together. And he's like, am I healing myself? Am I like a Superman? Not time to think about it. But besides the point, he's kind of like fixed himself. And they finally end up meeting with M, who's on a hillside overseeing like the entire city. And also you can see like the airport where they came from. And there's a giant horde of zombies. Over 100, they say. And just imagine Julie just like running away with the guy. And it's like, oh, freak. It's a mob. I don't want to be here. But they're being pursued by the cops and that dude. So it's like, there's no other choice. But they get to them. And then just a little ways behind, you hear the roar of the engines of their vehicles, whatever, decked out things. So they show up. And they're like stunned and dumbfounded of, oh freak, this could be a war. We can't do that here. We can't do this. No. And they just try to like verbally talk to Julie, knowing they're outgunned, outmanned. And she's like, no way, I'm staying with these guys. They're like, freak, great. We're gonna go back, regroup, and come back. Almost. So Julie is introduced to the horde and everyone's just like, Julie, okay. But R makes it very clear that she needs to be protected. And at the exact same moment where they're like, okay, we'll wait for them to come to us and we'll fight, they see some zombies running from the airport. Bruised up kind of bad. And he's like, you remember that skeleton little religious cult, whatever? Yeah, there's a lot more of them now, and they're really, really mad that you guys have screwed up their whole society, and they want to kill you. You guys. And anybody that's different. And then you realize that this giant horde of 100 zombies, there are a lot of bruises and bites from these skeletons, and it's like, oh, freak. We don't have an army, we have refugees. Oh, shoot, what do we do? And it's like, okay, so maybe we can get the skeletons towards the city so the city people can kill the skeletons and then it will all be scot clean. Great, okay. But R's like, Julie, no. You're being safe. We're not gonna hurt you in any way. And M is actually the one that pressures it. He's just like, no, you don't follow. You this way. You safe. You're important. You valued. But you are weak. That was the other cute thing. It's mentioned it was in no bad demeanor that he's like, you are frail, but special. And you could get hurt. And I was just like, that was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Isaac, the author. You put that in there. Beautiful to put in. So you have the horde of the zombies all going towards the city while R and Julie are going the other way. And they only get a little ways off and skeletons start attacking. And this is where the movie gets a bit similar again, because you do have this kind of massive zombie skeleton war amongst humans, and the humans realizing, oh, the skeletons are the bad guy here, not the zombies. Let's fight them together. It's not like that in the book. It's just mayhem, total mayhem with the skeletons. I don't know, the zombies aren't really mentioned that much. It's really the humans versus the skeletons. But anyways, they end up finding that old Mercedes car again, because it was like abandoned after Julie came back to the city. They end up driving that towards the center of the stadium to try to lure him there. And in the commotion, R kills one of the skeletons by like crushing his head completely. And it lets out this rival scream that he's never heard of before. And it's kind of like a beacon call of like, you guys, he's here! They're right here! So now they're like the focus point of all the skeletons. I mean, they were at the very beginning, but like a lot of them didn't know where they were. So they're like, okay, we're gonna find you. There was just a homing beacon that went off. So now they're frantically getting to the city, being completely bombarded. And they run back into Mr. Rocco. I'm gonna double check his name. And they're at the front of the door and Julie's like, let us in. They're after us. Come on, cut me some slack, my man. And he's like, gosh darn it, I can't say no to you. And I also trust this guy. He looked like a legitimately decent guy. He gives the good feels, so he lets him in. And while inside the city, there's all the commotion of like the war and skeletons going on outside. And everyone's kind of cowering. But also you see on the Jumbotron, hey, public enemy number 1, Nora. She bad. And it's like, well, yeah, duh. She pointed that gun to like the head leader. Of course they're going to go out for her. So they're now looking for Nora. And they figured out, hey, there's this place that's like the VIP suite in the stadium that never got to get it out because no one cares to be up that high and it's pointless to get up there. So they go up there, they find her, they find Nora, and there's a cute little funny banter of like, oh look, I'm on TV, I'm drinking wine because of what's left here, life is chill, what are we gonna do? And at this moment you hear another giant surround sound of Nora's father. I know you're here, Julie. I'm sorry, keep doing that. I know you're here, Julie. Time's up. And I can see you because across the stadium is where they have like the microphone booth of the announcer giving the score and everything. And he could see them in the VIP suite clear as day. They're like, freak. Now we're screwed. They're coming right here. Where do we go? And R suggests the roof because Perry's been to the roof and everybody else had. And she's like, you haven't been on the roof? And that's, oh wait, right. Same brain, same person, sort of, whatever. And they get on the roof and they're like, okay, this is beautiful. They see the horizon, they see the sky, and it's just like, well, we had to end somewhere, we'll end here. And there's a cute little heart-to-heart moment, and they kiss, and there's like this burst of energy and life surrounding them somehow. It's very like ethereal-esque. Again, this is a fiction. Go with it. While this kiss is happening, though, they turn back around and they see Nora has been handcuffed to the ladder that like got him onto the roof. She can't do anything. And you got her dad and the other dude. Those two men. And Julie's father is just like, hey, shoot them both. And he's like, why? He looks even more human than when he was first there. And that's your daughter. And he's like, no, she's infected. She's the zombie. Kill them both. And he's like, no, man. No, I'm not doing that. So then her father points a gun at her, about to shoot him. And she's like, Dad, wait! You just don't understand. And at this point, the good guy, Rosso, I'm gonna look up his name. He kind of deflects the gun a little bit from her dad. And they're starting to like fall off the roof because it's at that like awkward slant and everything. You know how a stadium roof is. In that same time period, they did close up the roof too to be like indoored to try to prevent any skeletons from getting inside because they were getting over the walls almost. They were kind of climbing up the walls a little bit. Spider monkey, whatever. Anyway, at this point, her dad's almost like falling off the roof, and it's like, oh, we gotta get to him, but like I can't run to him because I'm gonna like fall. And then you just see the skeleton hand come over his hand that's hanging over the ledge and lifts him up. So it's like, hold up. The skeleton is helping your dad. Who wants you dead? Again, it's just like, we want you dead. You've broken their system. You don't deserve to be alive. And then at this point, the skeleton kills her dad. He bites her shoulder. The skeleton bites her dad's shoulder. And it's so heart-wrenching because you see this little girl just like seeing her lose her father. He was a terrible father figure, but still, a father's a father. And she's got a gun. She ended up with the gun, Julie did. And she ends up shooting the skeleton in the head. They did it in the movie in this way that when the head gets blown up, everything kind of dissolves and falls apart. Okay, there's no connection to the body, limbs or anything. It all falls apart. So with that headshot, her father and the skeleton fall backward off the edge of the stadium. So you like see him die, and it's just, I got really teary there, even though I hated the man. Oh, but then you have this kind of like essence of like, it's over. Because the whole kiss, whatever happened with Julie and R, it's like a repelling sphere of like energy. It gives like Once Upon a Time vibes with like True Love's Kiss, where it's like that colorful orb circle that just expanded and touches everybody. And then they're like, oh, I remember everything. In this way, it was like, oh, we can't break them up. They're practically married. There's no way we're getting out of this. Forget it. So all the skeletons just kind of like walk away like, oh, what's the point anymore? We've tried so hard to prevent this, but it was to no avail, so we've lost. They give up. And you end the book with kind of like a beautiful ending of like R being real human. Because after the kiss and everything and all that kind of roof stuff dies, Julie at the very beginning stabbed him in the head because she was like scared and terrified. And she noticed that it's now bleeding with real blood. They also put that in the movie, like, zombies don't bleed. And he ends up bleeding at the end, and it's like, see, he's human! So they end with this beautiful-esque future of like, okay, we've resolved the zombie problem. We can be their friends. We can work with them. And it's like an introduction of like, open the gates, bring them in. And Nora has like her little interaction with M. And it's kind of funny. She's just like, oh, hi, I'm Nora. And he's like, M. Murray. And he says his name. And it's so pretty because it's just like, he remembered his name and everybody else can start remembering their memories and everything. So the very end of the book gets me teary-eyed. You have these two children just running through the airport, no fear or anything, and they're collecting things. They've got boxes upon boxes of like things that they're putting up. You find out it's cute little human photos of people doing things. Because it figured out if zombies are reminded of human interaction, they could become human again, because it was all a loss of hope. They put that in there so beautifully at the bar specifically. Back in the bar, R had a moment where he just saw everybody and he's like, they're going to be skeletons. They have no desire. They're meaningless husks of meat. And as soon as the meat falls off, they'll just be meaningless skeletons. So you have this cute moment where there's like a zombie just casually walking the airport, still meaningless. But she sees like these beautiful photos of just candid moments, a cute romantic couple, children playing with a hose. You see, it's so cute. And it goes back to R and Julie. And she's just like, have you remembered your name? And he's like, no, I'm pretty sure they did this like word for word in the movie. And she's like, well, if you can't remember it, you can just do whatever you want. And he's like, I'm going to stay with R because that's who I am. And it sounds like they have children It says children. I don't know if it means like they having kids or they have like adopted kids. But the best part, after I finished the book and loved it and everything, I went to the library to return it. And I was like, this Isaac man, he has a really good writing style. I love it. I'm going to read another one of his books. There's a sequel! And I'm so excited to read it, of their lives now. He's human and trying to remember to read and everything. I'm really looking forward to that.